Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another episode here on African Confessions. The following story that you're going to be listening to, it was forwarded to me by one of our admins, and the message it reads like this. Hello, Brother Nashi, how are you? Can you please post my own story as hidden identity? My brother, I have come here on your platform so that I can confess some of the things that I did. This was after I had joined a cult. Brother Nashi, days are evil and pastors are using churches to deceive people. And this is my own story, even though I am scared to tell you this story, because I know that these people, they hear everything that happens in this physical world. They are demons, they are monitoring spirits. They go around. The moment that you join, or the moment that you give your life to Jesus Christ in a church whereby it is operated by an evil person, that moment there will be a monitoring spirit that will be assigned to you, such that whenever you hear someone talking bad about your pastor, then that monitoring spirit will return back to the evil one and tell your pastor that you are in an environment whereby the pastor is being gossiped about. Then the pastor and his assistants, they will usually send some demons. These demons, when they come, they will close your ears such that you will be hearing what your pastor will be, but at the same time you won't even believe what you will be hearing. Even if you would hear that your pastor has been caught cheating on his wife, that demon will whisper other thoughts into your ears. That is the reason as to why you see thousands and thousands defending the pastors that would have stolen money from them. I am ashamed to admit it, but I joined a cult. I was vulnerable and desperate for a sense of belonging and purpose. Ever since growing up, I always asked myself why I can't have any friends. The only time that I'll be having friends, it is when someone wants to use me. So when I joined this church, there was love and kindness in that church. So I said, this is now my home. This is where I'll be belonging. My husband had left me, citing my lack of education as the reason I felt worthless and alone. The cult promised me a sense of community and acceptance, and I was drawn to their charismatic leader and promises of enlightenment. I ignored all the red flags and warnings from loved ones, convincing myself that they just didn't understand. But now I see the truth. The cult had controlled my every move, taken my money, and isolated me from my loved ones. I have been forced to participate in harmful practices and rituals, and I have lost myself completely. I have had women that actually giving me testimonies when they told me that our papa had made love to them and he had brought his holy sperm, and as they were making love to them, then he was actually watering their wombs with these holy sperms so that they can be fertile. This is how much this pastor has made us to become like his zombies. And this man, Brother Nashi, he is evil-hearted and he has powerful charms, and I am sure that behind him there is a very powerful traditional healer. I was even eager to serve and learn from him, but instead he betrayed my trust in the worst possible way. Brother Nashi, this man, he stole my money. He is very manipulative and he has so much power and he can control anyone. I think that the moment that you give him money personally, there is something that he does with that money. And when this whole thing started to happen, when he started manipulating me and controlling me, I was too ashamed and scared to speak out, because I felt that the seed that I was planting by giving him money, one day I was going to be able to get the fruits after this seed would have grown big. This is what he told me. There was this other day when I was driving my Range Rover. This pastor then told me that he had to rush to the airport because he wanted to go and collect this other man of God who was coming from this other country that I do not want to mention here. So instead of me giving him my car, I then went, Brother Nashi. Oh yes, I went and then I rented 4 cars at my own expense, Brother Nashi. I rented top of the range cars and I went and I collected this man of God who was coming from another country. One man and his bodyguard. I had to rent 4 luxurious cars for him, and this costed me a lot of money, Brother Nashi. Even though I had gone to rent out these 4 luxurious cars, Brother Nashi, just to pick up that so-called man of God from another African country who had been flown into our country. It was as if I had not even done anything, because this pastor, Brother Nashi, when I was telling him at that time that I was at this dealership busy renting out this luxurious vehicle, it was as if he was using his own money. He kept on pressurizing me, Brother Nashi, so much that I nearly got a panic attack. He said, "You are letting me down. You are letting me down because the aeroplane is about to touch down at OR. You need to go there. You need to go there with your car. Please make it fast." And Brother Nashi, the amount that I paid, it was a lot of money, but still it was not enough, because when we were traveling from OR, this pastor then asked me at which expensive hotel was I going to book his guest, and I still had to spend a lot of money. I had to spend tens and thousands of rands per night so that this so-called man of God from another African country can enjoy the good life here in South Africa. This man, Brother Nashi, by the time that he returned back to his country with the free will offering on top, which I was like sort of like manipulated to give him, since he now had access to me. The night before the big Sunday, I was invited to that hotel where I had booked this so-called man of God, and the man of God said that he was about to pray for me so that my life and my company can be transformed and I can start doing businesses even with the presidents and the politicians and the ministers. And I truly and I honestly believed everything that this so-called man of God said to me. My brother, the money that I spent by the time that this man left our country and returned back to his country, when I looked at my bank statement, I had spent close to 180,000 rands just in a couple of weeks, Brother Nashi. And that was when I started to see that this thing that I was doing, it was actually stupid, losing all of this money. If I wanted to invest this money, I could have invested that money, not this rubbish that I was being told, seed money, here and there, seed money. And this man, what is clever about is that he does not give any recognition to anyone. Even on that big Sunday, instead of telling the whole church the truth that the cars that had gone to pick up this so-called man of God from OR, these cars, I can say that they were mine, because at that time I was the one who had rented them out. And the hotel that this pastor was staying at, this hotel, it was costing me per night tens and thousands of rands, but he never gave me any recognition. I was only sent a text message by his team that this seed that I had sowed, God was finally going to reveal himself to me. Very soon I was going to receive a call from the president himself, and I was going to have breakfast with the president, but it never happened. When you are in a cult, you do not realize that you are actually in a cult. The only recognition that I got on that big Sunday, it was when the pastor just briefly mentioned that I was the one who had given out a very large sum of money as a free will offering. And at that time, there was another man, a millionaire, who is still attending that church. I'm sure that by the time that you would have lost a lot of money, that is when you stop attending that church. At that time, this so-called man of God, I had given him 30,000 rands as his free will offering, and also some of the clothes, the suits that I had bought for him. This man, they swindled me, Brother Nashi, and I thought that God was going to give me a great gift, but it never happened. In this church, in this cult, there is a way that they control you. They control you by making you to believe that you are actually serving God, and they use the Bible to do that. You can be made, and they use the Bible to do that. And I just want to send a very strong warning to the other Christians out there. It does not matter if you are rich or poor. That is the problem that I did, and I have to blame myself also, because when I started attending this church, I was not yet mature as a Christian. So when I gave my life to Christ with the car that I was driving, I'm sure that he picked it up maybe from his ashes, because the moment that I drove into the churchyard the first time, I was asked by the ushers what kind of a job I do. I told them that I was a doctor by profession, and I am an entrepreneur, as well as I have some restaurants that are operating on those franchise licenses. So it was quite clear to them that I was someone that had the resources, and they drew me closer each and every day to Papa. And before I had matured as a Christian, and I was then given this responsibility, always running around, always standing in front of the other Christians. And even now, Brother Nashi, I do not properly know the Bible. It is very funny that I would stand in front of the church, yet I can't even quote a single verse from the Bible. So they take advantage of people like us. Especially if you are wealthy, you become their prime target. When they see that you are still a new Christian, they present to you these Bible verses whereby you will see that indeed God favors the rich people. And you will think that it is true that God is going to give you a great gift. All that you have to do is just give the pastor a seed, only a seed. I feel very sorry for other millionaires that are still going to this church. And one more thing about these pastors, Brother Nashi, they have a strong backup, and they are willing to kill if it happens that they have to kill to protect their image. They can kill you. And these people, they have a strong backup, Brother Nashi. Online, they hire these people so that whenever there is a bad post about them, quickly you will see a lot of people that will be defending them. These are like their online hired guns. And I am pretty sure that these so-called men of God, physically, they are willing to kill so that they can defend their image online. And they are connected to very powerful people. That is my own conviction. This pastor, he only threatened me once after I had left his church. He then started asking me why I was no longer giving him the seed money that I had promised to give him, because I signed a contract to be giving him seed money each and every month, at least 14,000 rands a month that I was supposed to give to him. He had even tried to convince him to create a debit order that each and every month my bank will automatically take that money and send it to his church bank account. So when he asked me why I was no longer sending this seed money, I then laughed at him and I said, "Are you serious? Do you even think that it is possible that someone who would have left your church because of these reasons of you always asking for money, after leaving that church, you expect that person to send you money?" This guy threatened me, Brother Nashi. Then all of a sudden, the phone that I was using at that time, I don't know what happened to it, but the screen, it just became dimmer and dimmer each and every day until you could not see anything. I tried to get this phone fixed, but they told me that this phone, it is so damaged, there is no need for me to fix it. I said, I want the information that is in there. Then that Indian guy said, there is no purpose of trying to fix this phone because the way that it is damaged, it is very hard for you to get someone who is willing to fix this phone. That is how this phone, Brother Nashi, stopped working. I had all the information on that phone, but the phone, it just got damaged. Next time around, I looked for that phone in the drawer where I always kept it, and I could not find it. When I opened it, Brother Nashi, I found out that there were a lot of cockroaches inside that drawer. I then called my maid and I said, since when did we start to have cockroaches? She then said that she started to see cockroaches here and there, but not a lot. But inside that drawer, those cockroaches, brother, they were like flies that were inside that drawer. But after 2 days, those cockroaches, they had just vanished. No more cockroaches in the house. These people, they are connected to powerful people in politics. They are connected to powerful traditional healers. So physically and spiritually, if they want to hurt you, they will hurt you. My advice is that when you think that it is time for you to become a Christian, at least find maybe those very small churches, maybe you will be safe there. These large churches whereby there will be thousands and thousands of people, I think that it is very risky, especially if it is a church whereby there is only one who is always in front. I think that the person would have been given some powers, I don't know, by the devil or demons to control everyone in their church. I feel very sorry for my other friends whom I introduced to that church. You should see how much they hate me. We stay in the same community, but they don't even speak with me anymore. Sometimes it makes me want to cry because before we were Christians, when we were just people who loved to party, we were the best of best friends. But now, because of Christianity, our friendship had to come to an end after I had told them that this pastor is ungrateful. I lost a lot of money. I rented out luxury cars for him, but he never appreciated me. And one of my friends said, if Jesus Christ, the Son of God, is not being appreciated after he lost his life on Calvary, how about you? Why do you want him to appreciate you? God is going to appreciate you with time. That is when we stopped talking to each other, because I can see that they are still under the influence of this pastor. But what surprises me is that one of my friends even told me a story of how she had slept with this same so-called man of God, but they still believe that he is a man of God. Hey, dear listeners, right there was a message that was sent to me by our dear sister. Strange things do happen in this world. Just imagine losing so much money. Lucky enough, if you are a millionaire, at least the money that you would have lost, you will be able to make more money. Just imagine if you are just a poor man, you only have just a small amount of money. You go there, you give the pastor your seed money, then it is all gone. Strange things do happen in this world.